a classic Nickelodeon cartoon from the early 90s. Getting some action figures here, straight out of the Ren and Stimpy Show. They had a little toy line, not a ton of figures. I want to show these in the Army episode figures. Says so right on the packaging. In their Army outfits from just one episode of the show, getting some toys here. And they have little features and functions, so that'll be fun to check out what they do. From 1993, the show started in 1991, and this episode in the Army only aired in 1992, so you can see it kind of took a little while to get the toy line out. On the back, some other figures from the set, just different pairs of Ren and Stimpy. So we'll want to look at those at some point. When I was a kid, I did have just the kind of regular appearance figures, not in any costume from an episode. We got Bump-A-Riffic Stimpy. This is the one I played with as a kid. He doesn't have too much movement there. But you can see his segmented body here. You push him down and he gets the old classic cartoon lump on his head. I swear it's supposed to come out a little farther than this. But again, when the cartoon came out, I was pretty young, so I did actually play with these some. He's absolutely smashed short here. Simple articulation, but I mean it did have the shape of the character pretty nicely. And they had their little simple play feature, although Stimpy looking kind of sad and hurt here didn't really help. And slap happy Ren Höek! She does have little articulated ears that do help his look, that you can kind of have them up, out a little bit, or all the way down. You can kind of see his inner ear that way. Simple, just turning movements on the arm. The legs are a little weird with their motion there too. But you kind of push the head in and let go, and you do a little slap. Idiot! Whoopsh. You can commit violence on Stimpy with your toy. These are a little worn a bit because they were kind of my childhood figures, so I didn't realize there was more to this set. That's what I usually like to do here, is kind of complete old childhood toy sets that I only maybe had a few figures of. So that's just kind of the standard costume here. We'll look at the Army ones here, brand new in the boxes. Little bio cards here about the episode with a little screenshot there. And you can kind of cut this out and keep it. I always kept the whole cards when I was a kid. I may still have my Ren and Stimpy card back somewhere. But look at this, we've got a quiz question. What does the eye chart in the recruitment center say in that episode in the Army? You can turn it upside down to see the answer. This will hurt you. And of course a little drawing there showing what the figure does. Sometimes there's some funny little jokes in there about how the feature is almost kind of lame, like making fun of the toy even on the back of the packaging. Strategic battle reaction. Okay, well we'll see when we open it up. Of course, awesome show logo and cartoon pictures and stuff on the front. We even got the price tag. I always love seeing the old price tag where it's like, oh, $4.99. It's like, yeah, that would have been nice. Some warnings, since this was on the kind of kids channel. Looks like that was an afterthought because it's just a sticker stuck on there. Whoops. Alright, so that's what I like to do here, is open up a brand new fresh one so you get to see the packaging. And I get a complete figure as well, and not beat up or worn either. So we get little Ren out here. The helmet very loose on there. Absolutely insane expression. I think that was the problem with a lot of Ren toys and stuff. Never looked normal, but then again, every frame of Ren and Stimpy, the cartoon, they just look totally different. We just have kind of rotating arms. So they can't do too many poses, really. Looks like a little rotation on the leg as well. He's got his little green Army outfit. And his Army helmet, he does have like a spinning little beanie there. Plain helmet. It doesn't come off, it's part of his feature because he's got his little chihuahua tail back here. Actually, is stamped 1992, so they did kind of start making it after the episode. But you can pull it down and he does a little bit of a almost Ghostbusters-esque like fear reaction. Ah! The helmet pops up a little bit, eyes pop out, and the mouth opens up, looking absolutely terrifying actually. This is scaring me even looking at it now. But it doesn't pop the little propeller, you gotta do that yourself. But that's a cool little bonus there too. Neat feature, not a ton of fun for playing, I would imagine. As a kid, I'd be like, I just want regular Ren. But maybe you could kind of mix it up, do some weird stuff since he had a little costume there. The molding on the eyes, you can like see the weird seam of the plastic. Doesn't look great there, but I just always like the retro look, getting these older figures like this, just because it's kind of cool little pieces of history. Oh, and he does have a little star on his helmet there. Wow. So we got old Stimpy here. Looks like he has a little more feature action going on here. Boot Camp Stimpy with Hairball-Hurling action. Ren's was Army Ren Höek with bug-eyed action. So we get a cool cartoon drawing here, and then just like a picture of action figure. This one didn't get the... Oh, it did get the warning on the side. I didn't see it for a second there. I think this is the figure that probably really triggered that, since it looks like it has some small accessories included. So another screen from the cartoon. Looks a little washed out. They didn't get the best capture of those. But a little story bit about the episode. And we get another quiz question. Where does Stimpy get a shot in the Army episode? Gets it on his tongue. Oh, how very painful. And a little demonstration there on the back showing the feature of the figure that we'll get to check out when we open it up here. Bigger figure looks pretty awesome. You hate to open the classics, but you know what? That's what they're for, you know? Try to hunt one of these down. Used, you probably aren't going to find the accessories all that easy. If you do, they're going to want a fortune for some reason. So a fresh Stimpy. He does have the same helmet. Of course, his feature isn't it coming off. And his doesn't really spin all that well. I mean, you can rotate it, but... So we've got his mouth here. You can see some mechanism bits showing a big old tongue sticking out. So he's not going to articulate anywhere other than he's got the rotated arms and full rotation on the legs. But the rest of the body is all kind of locked into the feature here, which is done by just pulling up on the upper headpiece. Wharf! And he opens super huge. That is one wide mouth opened up. I assume you just push it down. I guess that's the only... There's no button thing or really particular way to reset it. It's just kind of pull up and push it down. So he has his accessories here. Looks like he has a sock, a hairball, and a can of sardines. On the old classic kit board that you'd see with some other, like, you know, like Ninja Turtles, all the weapons had this, like, rack that you had to get the stuff off of. I wasn't really a kit guy at any time, so I don't have any professional gear like they have. We'll just snip these off here. Fresh accessories. I mean, how easy was it to lose these little things? There's no way anybody kept these. I would have lost them myself, even though I'm pretty good, even in a young age, of keeping all my toys. That's why I actually have a lot of stuff from the past, and it's in decent enough shape. I'm able to just kind of finish the collection. I've been called a great preservationist in my young age, because I didn't want to lose my dang toys. That was like my favorite thing. So empty rack there. 3 little accessories. I guess we'll load him up. We got a can of sardines, a hairball, and a small sock. Makes sense to me. Not really. He's loaded in there. They do stay in there. Well, they slide out if you try to slide them out. I guess you don't have to really open them up. You can kind of jam these in there. See if Stimpy's Horfer is working. Horf! Yep, that makes the stuff fall out. That sure does. What the? Alright, this is a pretty useless feature. I don't think even really Horfs or anything in the episode. They were just kind of desperate to come up with something. But I like the look because they're just super 90s looking crazy. And I definitely watched Ren and Stimpy all the time as a kid. Started when I was very young and just kept watching the reruns. Always something cool to watch. Not really something I wanted to play with toys about. I mean, I had those 2 other figures. I don't remember playing with them a ton because what do you play with Ren and Stimpy? They're just kind of like off-the-wall little stories. There was never like a continuation story. They just wanted to make a cool cartoon, so... Unless you were super creative, you know, playing the toys, what are you going to come up with other than maybe recreating the episode? There's no big Sarge to yell them. Sarge. Dude. Didn't realize there was more, so I'm kind of happy I can... Another little collection I can complete. Super nostalgic cartoon I always watched. Having a nice little toy line here. I would have liked other characters from the show, like Mr. Horse and Powder Toast Man as toys, but looks like they just went with all Ren and Stimpy versions. Which is alright, but I kind of like having more characters and stuff. Personally, anyway. So if this was a fun watch, that's what I kind of do here usually, is open up old 90s kind of toys and stuff. Show off my old ones and kind of show new ones I get that complete collections or start new ones. So hopefully you idiots will show up in the next video. Then I can show you my magic nose goblins.